specifically mean? Those who in Bengali.
That is lost.
What's that?
Lost, Prabhuji.
Lost.
Yeah.
Lost in the cycle of samsara. Then Vishaya Chariya Kabe. Vishaya means sense gratification. Chariya means giving it up. Kabe. When? Shuddha Habiman. That with a purified mind. Kabe Hama Herabo Sri Vrindavan. I'll be able to appreciate Vrindavan with that giving up sense gratification. Rupa Raghunath Pade Hoy Beakuti. These are Rupa and Raghunath, 6 Goswamis. At their feet, aspiring at their feet. Kabe Hama Bujaba say Jugala Piriti. By their mercy, I'll be able to understand the intimate pastimes of Radha Krishna. Rupa Raghunath Pade, and praying at the lotus feet of Rupa and Raghunath. Rahu Morash, that's my aspiration. Prarthana, this is the song of Kore of Narottam, always Narottam Das. So we'll sing the first few lines. We won't have time for the whole thing today. We'll sing the rest a little bit later, next time around. Gauranga bolite habe pulaka sharir Hari Hari bolite nayane babini Gauranga bolite pulaka shari Hari Hari bolite nayane babini Gauranga bolite habe pulaka sharir Hari Hari bolite nayane babini Gauranga bolite habe pulaka sharir Hari Hari bolite nayane babini Ar kabe nitai chande Koruna hoibe Sangsar Bashanamor Kabe Tucha Habe
Ar kabe
nitai chande Karuna hoibe Sangsar Bashanamor Kabe Tucha Habe Ar kabe nitai chande Koruna hoibe Sangsar Bashanamor Kabe Tucha Habe
Har kabe
karuna hoibe
Sangsar Bashanamor Kabe Tucha Habe Vishaya Chadiya kabe Shuddha habe mana Kabe hamo herabo Sri Vrindavan Vishaya Chadiya Kabe Shuddha habe mana Kabe hamo herabo Sri Vrindavan Vishaya Chadiya Kabe Shuddha habe mana Kabe hamo herabo Sri Vrindavan Vishaya Chadiya Kabe Shuddha habe mana Kabe hamo herabo Sri Vrindavan Gauranga bolite habe Pulaka sharir Hari Hari bolite Nayane babeni
Gauranga bolite
habe Pulaka sharir Hari Hari bolite Nayane babeni Gauranga bolite habe Pulaka sharir Hari Hari bolite Nayane babeni
Gauranga bolite habe
Pulaka sharir
Hari
Hari
bolite Nayane babeni Jai Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Paribrajak Acharya Ashtottara Satashi Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Shami Maharaj Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai.
Jai.
ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai.
Jai.
प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय.
Jai.
श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरि गोवर्धन की जय.
Jai.
वृंदावन धाम की जय.
Jai.
नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय.
Jai.
गंगा माई की जय.
Jai.
यमुना माई की जय.
Jai.
तुलसी देवी की जय. भक्ति देवी की जय. समवेता भक्त वृंद की जय.
Jai.
गौर प्रेमानंदे.
Hari
All glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare
Krishna.
All glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna
All glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna
All glory to Sri Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga Hari Hari Bol. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutare Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Shami Iti Namane. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatadine. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda.
Jaya
Jai
Jaya
Jai Sri Chaitanya Jai
Nityananda
Nityananda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jai Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya
Jaya
Datta
Dvaita Chandra
Jaya
Jai
Gaur
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 Bhakta
Bhakta Vrinda.
Vrinda.
Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda.
Jaya
Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya
Jaya
Jai
Nityananda
Nityananda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jai Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya
Jaya
Datta
Dvaita Chandra
Jaya
Jai
Gaur
Gaur
Bhakta
Bhakta
Vrinda
Vrinda.
Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda.
Jaya
Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya
Jaya
Jai
Nityananda
Nityananda.
Jai Dvaita Chandra, Jai Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Datta
Jai Dvaita
Jaya
Chandra Jai
Gaur
Gaur
Bhakta
Bhakta
Vrinda
Vrinda.
We're studying Sri Caitanya Caritamrita, Adi Lila, Chapter 7, the Lord in 5 features. And here we are at text 49.
ইতিমধ্যে চন্দ্রশেখর মিশ্র তপন দুঃখী হনা প্রভু পায় কইল নিবেদন।
While Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was instructing Sanatan Goswami, both Chandrasekhar and Tapan Mishra became very unhappy. Therefore, they submitted an appeal unto the lotus feet of the Lord. See the first word, it says there, iti madhye. Meanwhile, in the meantime, because what was happening, the Mayavadi sannyasis were criticizing Lord Chaitanya in the meantime. And Lord Chaitanya was also instructing Sanatana Goswami, which is where we came from in the Madhya Lila chapter. So Chandrasekhar and Tapan Mishra were both devotees. Lord Chaitanya was staying at Chandrasekhar's house and taking his meals with Tapan Mishra. But they became unhappy. Why did they become unhappy?
Because the Mayavadis were in a way insulting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Yes. And they heard that. Yeah. Okay, next verse.
কতেক শুনিব প্রভু তোমার নিন্দন না পারি সহিতে এবে ছাড়িব জীবন।
How long can we tolerate the blasphemy of your critics against your conduct? We should give up our lives rather than hear such blasphemy. Purport. One of the most important instructions by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu regarding regular Vaishnava behavior is that a Vaishnava should be tolerant like a tree and submissive like grass. Trinadapi sunichena, torodapi sahishnuna, amanina manadena, kirtaniya sadahari. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. Nevertheless, the author of these instructions, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, did not tolerate the misbehavior of Jagai and Madhai. When they harmed Lord Nityananda Prabhu, he, Lord Chaitanya, immediately became angry and wanted to kill them. It was only by the mercy of Lord Nityananda Prabhu that they were saved. One should be very meek and humble in his personal transactions, and if insulted, a Vaishnava should be tolerant and not angry. But if there is blasphemy against one's guru or another Vaishnava, one should be as angry as fire. This was exhibited by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One should not tolerate blasphemy against a Vaishnava, but should immediately take one of 3 actions. If someone blasphemes a Vaishnava, one should stop him with arguments and higher reason. If one is not expert enough to do this, he should give up his life on the spot. And if he cannot do this, he must go away. While Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Benares or Kashi, the Mayavadi sannyasis blasphemed him in many ways because although he was a sannyasi, he was indulging in chanting and dancing. Tapan Mishra and Chandrasekhar heard this criticism, and it was intolerable for them because they were great devotees of Lord Chaitanya. They could not stop it, however, and therefore they appealed to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because this blasphemy was so intolerable that they had decided to give up their lives. Any comments on this verse or questions? And the purport also.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Please send me obeisances. I'll go to Shua.
Yes.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
For the sake of clarity for people that may be newer to Shastra and the process of bhakti, would you please clarify, just Vaishnava, and in this instance, as it's referred to, Lord Chaitanya not tolerating the blasphemy, and the instructions on what to do, how would persons new to Krishna consciousness deal with it, understand what it's about, who it's for, and how it relates to us as aspiring Vaishnavas and servants, please?
Sure, thank you. So Vaishnava generally means someone who's a devotee of Vishnu. They accept service and love of Krishna or Vishnu as the highest goal of life. And they're striving for that. And there's different levels of Vaishnavas. Kanishta Adhikari means someone who still has a lot of material attachment, but they're trying. Madhyam Adhikari means a preacher, someone who's a little bit advanced. And then Uttama Adhikari is a Vaishnava who's reached a high level, and they're able to see everybody as being involved in the service of Krishna. So the first point that's important to know is that criticizing unnecessarily, blaspheming a Vaishnava, very serious, or the Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead also. That's a very serious offense. So, and just to be present or be a party to it, hearing those criticisms is very detrimental to one's spiritual life. Here, Tapan Mishra and Chandrasekhar were really concerned, really disturbed by this. Similarly, we should be disturbed by if we're in a position where we're hearing criticism of devotees or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the actions taken, generally speaking, when we hear if we hear the blasphemy of a devotee or of Krishna, then we leave, or we defeat, or we challenge and defeat the person with reason and argument. The best thing is if you can do that, because the the law is, and no objection means you agree. You know that? No objection means you agree.
I've heard that actually regarding, the newer things, we're not our bodies, but if one is not disagreeing with the oppression of people based on bodily issues, even as Vaishnavas, then you may be agreeing with it.
Okay. Yeah, so then speaking up, if there's any misbehavior towards Vaishnav should be called up. Misbehavior and any kind of, or blasphemy, particularly criticism. Usually if there's misbehavior, then it usually starts with bad talk. It goes on. And there's all kinds of levels of that. But so those are the things when usually when we'll leave, if you're understanding the philosophy well enough, then there's defeating the person with reason and argument. Usually that's why Lord Chaitanya said Mayavadi aparadhe, that the Mayavadis are offenders because they're criticizing Krishna, because they say he's got no eyes, he's got no ears, he's no legs, and so indirectly they're saying he's blind, deaf, dumb, etc. So to hear the talks or the discourse of Mayavadis against the personality of Godhead is offensive. So either defeat them, argue with them, defeat them by argument, or leave. That's the main usually. We don't see here to kill them, but those are the general things. Usually, best thing is if you can to defeat them in argument. But sometimes, for example, if the person is giving a class at a function or something, you may not be able to directly engage them. So best leave. Other than hearing the poison. Therefore, it's Rupa Goswami said, Avaishnava Mukod Girnam Puto Hari Caitanyamritam, said that the milk that discourses about Krishna from someone who is envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is like milk that's touched by the lips of a serpent. So milk is very nice food, nice nourishing food, but if it's touched by the serpents, then what is the result? You get poisoned. So these things are happening. So better not to get poisoned. So Tapan Mishra and Chandrasekhar were being disturbed there in Benares because there was all this talk against Lord Chaitanya, criticizing his behavior. So we should also avoid that too. Next,
I have a question, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
You mentioned Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyama Adhikari, and what was the other Adhikari?
Uttam.
Uttama Adhikari. Yeah. See, if you give levels to devotees, these devotees will have attitude problems, right? So why differentiate between you believe Krishna, that's it. If you keep on differentiating these different and segregating people and classifying people will have attitude problems, because that is human tendency to have attitude, right? Once you give them some status, or I am Uttama, I am like this, and what should the lower people feel like? Lower people should feel inferior to the Uttama Adhikaris?
Well, I hear what you're saying. From a material standpoint, one can think, well, I am a higher devotee. Look at me. But actually, as a person progresses in Krishna consciousness, as mentioned in this verse, one becomes a person. The test of that is one becomes increasingly humble, not increasingly proud of their position. So of the three, the Uttamadhikari, even though he or she is at the highest level, becomes the most humble. And it's not that everybody is at the same level. Everybody is a spirit soul. Everybody is a servant of Krishna, but there are different levels of understanding of that point and acting according to that point. And if we try to equate the beginner in all respects with the more spiritually advanced person, then things will become all confused, because a beginner won't have good understanding of the scriptures, nor will a beginner act in accordance with the spiritual instructions given by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita consistently. So if we take the beginner as good as the Uttama Adhikari, or the advanced person, then things will get all confused. So these directions are not something that are made up by a self-interested person, a self-interested Uttamadhikari. So he or she can get more accolades, but they're to help a person understand that there is a process for making advancement in Krishna consciousness, and the process of making an advancement is to hear and involve oneself, find such a person who has made advancement, and try to hear from that person and do some service for that person. We can serve everybody, but particularly just like if you want to be a good tennis player, the way to do it is you have to you find a good tennis player who's better than you, and you can practice with that person. You'll get better. Generally, that's generally true.
Prabhuji,
Okay, 651.
I have one question also.
Okay.
You earlier when you were saying about, blaspheming devotees and how we should correct them, or it's a non-devotee or someone who is not a Vaishnava, but they're challenging Krishna consciousness or ISKCON, or they're saying bad things about ISKCON, to people, and we should correct them. But how does that also, how are one of the 10 offenses, right? We shouldn't preach to people who are not open, right? So how do you differentiate those two? Where do we draw the line? Okay, well, we don't want to make an offense based on the 10 offenses, but at the same time, it also says you should correct. So where is the line?
Well, the offense is preaching the glories of the holy name to the unfaithful, right? So that's a little more specific. It depends on what the exact blasphemy is, or the exact criticism is. One can, number one, if it's not specifically blaspheming or describing the criticizing the chanting of the holy names or something, then there's so many things. We preach to people that they're not the body. That's not preaching about the holy name necessarily, but that generally in the world, we're all thinking that we are all thinking we're this body, and therefore the whole purpose of life is to get stuff for the body, so we can correct people on that level. No, you understand? Different levels. And if it's specifically about the holy name, okay, yeah, then that might be a position that we walk away. Some people, they won't hear anything about that. Okay, so we walk away. We don't preach in that condition. Sometimes, most of the time.
Okay. So everyone's perspective is different, right? A different devotee. I mean, also there's this thing where it's my service or it's not my service. If someone else is offering, maybe I shouldn't say anything because it's not my service, it's not my offering. That also comes in play, but that comes into play only when, you're at the temple and you're involved with certain services. Even there, how do we differentiate? Okay, well, I don't think this is right, this is wrong. And then you say, oh, I don't think Prabhupada wanted it, so we should speak up, right? I mean, there's also that level when it comes to, devotee culture.
You're talking about correcting or giving opinions about somebody's devotional service at different times and different situations in the temple or outside the temple. Well, that's why it's very, very tricky to be an administrator, because an administrator's service is to help improve the quality of the services that are being performed, and so that can be seen as criticism. Although a good administrator will learn how to give observations in a way that's not taken as critical. So that's a big trick. So, but if one isn't an administrator, then it's a little, it's much more uh, dangerous to start to find fault with people's services. It's best not to do that. Yes, and if there's something that becomes more problematic and you think it's really a big problem, then that should be brought to the attention of the administrator. And it could be, there's a lot of things that one doesn't know about the situation, and therefore be very careful. One should be very careful about that stuff. It depends on all the exact specifics of the case.
No, you answered it perfectly. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Sure.
I have one more question, Prabhuji.
Vishnu Prabhu, may I, thank you for answering the question in a particular aspect. I wanted to, since we have you here, if you could please refer to the aspect of this verse, one should stop him with arguments and hire reason, and how that should be done. And then also for new and old devotees, or devotees who have been around for a while, but just to clarify, since there may be misgivings or people may have issues unknown, if one is not expert enough to do this, then one should give up his life. Would you please reference that also for the health and well-being and the accuracy and how we should be operating as Vaishnavas?
Well, I think you just did. I think you just highlighted. I think that was well said. I mean, in life, there's all different details that we can't get. It's hard to get into details because there's so many different situations. But these are general principles, and how to apply them, in each situation might be a little tricky. But in general, these are the general, as you cited, the general directions. Usually in the world, we want to find fault with everybody else, and we don't want to see any problem with us ourselves. Just like today, we're seeing today is Varaha Dvadashi, and this was Varaha appeared. One of the reasons he appeared was to kill Hiranyaksha. Why killing Hiranyaksha? Because Hiranyaksha had. Why was that? What did he do?
He
took
yes,
planet.
He messed up the planet. You can imagine he messed up the Earth planet and fell down into the Garbhodak ocean. So so then Varahadev killed him. You can imagine it was a big fight. So later, Hiranyaksha's brother, Hiranyakashipu, he was inimical to Lord Vishnu. And one of the reasons that he was inimical to Lord Vishnu was, why?
His son was the devotee of, means Prahlad became devotee of.
Yeah, that's one. But yes.
So he killed his brother.
Yeah, that's right. He killed his brother. Hiranyakashipu's brother was Hiranyaksha. They were twins. Hiranyakashipu was the older, and Hiranyaksha was the younger. So Hiranyakashipu's brother had been killed, so he was inimical to Lord Vishnu. No, but he didn't consider, oh, my brother had caused all this trouble. He had really seriously disturbed the earth. You can imagine if the earth is getting flooded in the Garbhodak ocean, how many living entities must have been destroyed, right? Mm-hmm. No, he didn't think that. Oh, gosh, my brother did something wrong. He only said, oh, I have. So this is the nature of the materialistic person. There's never a thought that he or she might have done something wrong, that he or she needs to be corrected. It's always the other person. But the nature of a devotee is always considering, have I done something? Have I done something pleasing to Krishna? What mistake have I made? Have I offended anybody? And part of being humble is asking for, how can I improve? especially, we devotees who've been around a long time, it's a little, we become maybe quite a bit,
Thick-skinned.
yeah, and thick-skinned, or we're because we're older, or we think, that we don't have any way to improve, or that's foolishness. All of us have to improve. So part of improving is asking other devotees, what do you think? How can we improve our services? These are important things. So, I'm getting off the topic here. I'm sorry about that. But I thought Mother Mitravendi, you highlighted it, but I don't have more to say about this, other than what's here, unless we go into specifics, which I don't have any specific case here. Sorry.
Well, I was referring for new people, the part about giving, just for clarity, about giving up one's life.
Okay. Yeah. We don't recommend that, generally speaking.
Yeah.
We don't do that.
And to learn how, I guess, learning how to defeat these arguments. It shouldn't be a tit for tat, but, in the blasphemy, doing it in a way that relates to Krishna consciousness, Shastra.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. Well, and we'll see how Lord Chaitanya does it here in this case. This is the description of how Lord Chaitanya defeated the Mayavadi sannyasis, and we'll see how he did it. And there's so many examples in the Caitanya Caritamrita of how Lord Chaitanya and his devotees did it. And when we read on Thursday, we study Prabhupada's teachings, and so many times we see how Srila Prabhupada also did that. He was able to defeat the opposing arguments. So we learn that way. And as you very rightly pointed out, studying the scriptures, Krishna gives arguments in Bhagavad Gita against, the body being the self and stuff like that. So studying, attending classes like this one and others, and reading the scriptures, very important. Chanting the holy names, these are all good ingredients to help us get the intelligence and the arguments to be able to defeat or dispel other arguments that tend to be put down Krishna and his associates. Thank you. Text 51.
Prabhu?
Krishna Prabhu, do you want to continue on, or do you want to take more questions?
Oh, I don't know. There are a lot of questions. Oh, I see. I didn't see.
I have one more question, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Well, I think Vatsala had a question first, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Let her go.
Thank you, Renuka. Thank you, Prabhu. My humble pranam.
Yes.
Orishishwara Prabhupada. As you were mentioning in verse 50, so there are different, three different practitioners. And out of them, I think what you are saying and what I understood from this is, as you progress, as you become more devoted to Krishna, I think your qualities slightly, with the grace of Krishna, slightly change. So you don't have to really worry about, whether I am offending this person or that person. I think your qualities must progress in a positive way. When you become a Uttama Adhikari, we may not get to the status yet, but still, by the grace of Krishna, but your devotion, but your love for Krishna, I think your qualities are something, it becomes, polished as we progress. And also some of the ways we, as Vaishnavas, how we need to behave, it is also understood. I think nobody is imposing anything on you, but because of the grace of Krishna, you will try to change, and it will happen. I guess we need to have patience within ourselves. You can see as the years go by, we do see changes, slightest changes within you. And it can happen only through the grace of the Lord and the Guru and Srila Prabhupada's books. So, yes.
I mean, the purifying principle is Krishna. Krishna is like the sun. Krishna Surya Samamaya Hoy Andakar. So if we're actually getting exposed to Krishna through by the mercy of Guru, then the effects of the sun will be apparent sooner or later. And if we're not, if we're then we remain in a difficult condition, we're doing something wrong. that's real important. So here in the prayer that we said, Goranga Bolite Habe Pulaka Sharir, we by chanting of Lord Chaitanya's name, we should become ecstatic. If we're not, then we're doing something wrong. That's right. We haven't made it advanced. And I didn't explain in detail the 3 levels of devotees. I mean, there's in Indian philosophy, Vedic philosophy, there's all kinds of categories that people are in. There's different stages of devotional service. The way you find out if you're making progress is you take a look at the stage. Just like if you're going from Philadelphia to New York, you pass, you go on the turnpike and you pass Edison, you pass Jersey City, and you go. And so those are signposts along the way. So there's signposts in different ways that we look at in a person making progress in Krishna consciousness. And one of those is this Kanishta Adhikari, means they appreciate the Lord in his deity form, but they cannot appreciate or give any respect, or have very difficult time giving respect to other devotees. They so they're in that way they're don't know how to respect other devotees and give so that's one of the reasons I think that the temple, they had this Vaishnava etiquette class sometime back to encourage us a broader understanding of how to deal not only with the deities, but also with other devotees too. So then the Madhyam Adhikari sees the Supreme Lord and offers respect and worship, makes friends with the devotees on an equal level. There's devotee friendships. And then in the devotee friendships, there's things like Dadati, Pratigrinnati, Guyamakyati, Prichtiti, Bhunkte Bhojayate Chayava, Shadvidham Priti, Lakshanam, giving prasad, accepting prasad, giving in charity, accepting gifts, revealing one's mind, and speaking confidentially. So they make friends, they have friends among the other devotees. Then on a similar level, then they're merciful to people who are innocent, or they're interested in Krishna consciousness but not advanced or made as much progress perhaps. And then the fourth thing is they avoid the inimical people. Generally, they don't have intimate relations with the inimical people. They may talk with them, but not intimate relations with them. So the Madhyamadhikari particularly is known as a preacher. They become very conversant in the philosophy of Krishna consciousness from Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, and they can explain it in different situations from different points of view as necessary. And the Uttamadhikari has fully realized Krishna, his or her relationship to Krishna, and sees every living being as a part and parcel of Krishna, and also engaged directly or indirectly in service of Krishna. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna describes that Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmani Gavi Hashtini Shuni Chaiva Swapakecha Pandita Samadarshana. So a very learned person, actual learned Pandit, sees all living beings as a receptacle of as spirit souls, part and parcels of Krishna, in different forms and bodies, coverage, different cars, coverings, dresses. So anyway, Uttama Adhikari, very advanced person. Okay.
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
I have a question, Prabhu.
Yeah.
The whole point of ISKCON is my personal reason is to fix my personal ethics and personal moralities and all that stuff. But every once in a while I keep voicing my opinion, or not my opinion, my understanding of some scripture or something, and immediately I'll get a flood of emails like or phone calls. Oh, this is a Vaishnava etiquette document, read this document. Yes, I will read the document, but I cannot suppress. You cannot suppress one's response to something, right? Suppressing a response is not right in any organization. If people are not open minded, and if people are not voicing their genuine concerns and getting a clear clarification from a higher person or a knowledgeable person, and if you suppress a new person by showing this Vaishnava etiquette document, it is very depressing actually. That is more depressing than the actual the content that I'm trying to get clarification on, that high end spiritual material. So
Yes,
in the
yes.
name of Vaishnava etiquette, you should not suppress somebody's genuine question. That is, it is coming from a genuine space. I'm putting my time and effort to learn this content, and in that content, something was literally hurting my. What is this? I mean, this cannot be. So when I'm asking a genuine question, people flood me with this Vaishnava etiquette document, that PDF file, and phone calls, and they're suppressing me. So suppression is not right in any organization, because people should voice their genuine concerns, and they should get the give the clarified reply to me. Don't sidetrack me saying that, hey, you're a junior, shut your mouth, or like, don't do those suppression tactics, because we are all experienced in life. I'm not like an 18-year-old or a 19-year-old. I am like 48 years old. In a couple of months I'll be like 49. A 49-year-old has some experience in life. After having a lot of experience in life, at a very very wrong age, I came into ISKCON. I should have been in ISKCON like in my 20s. Probably I would have been like one of the highest elevated souls by now, but I'm just beginning. But don't suppress me in the name of Vaishnava etiquette document. I'm asking a genuine question, and give me a right answer. I will get the clarification, and then
Okay.
I will
Okay.
follow you guys.
Thank you. You've made your point. So I think that it could be that Krishna is giving you a little pressure. He's giving you some influence that to help you also become humble, as you wrote on you put on your thing. Your point is well taken, though. Questions are essential. As Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, tad vidhi pranipatena. How does it go? Pariprashnena sevaya upadikshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. That one should approach a spiritual authority, a guru, a spiritual master, spiritual authority, and ask. Prashna means questions, and pariprashna means all kinds of questions. Just like you say, parikrama, you're going around and round. You're going parikrama, you're going around. So pariprashnana means all kinds of questions. Of course, it's good to ask them in a spirit of genuine understanding, not necessarily as a challenge, but I think you generally do that. So people may react in a certain way, which that's Krishna's intervening there a little bit, because perhaps some people might take it that one is not asking in a actual desire to understand, but more in a challenging spirit. But if that's
mine
not
is
your
genuine, Prabhu. I don't ask fake questions.
Yes,
Why should
yes,
I waste
yes,
my
yes.
time asking a fake question? I'm a genuine person, and if I'm asking a question, it is coming from a I want an answer.
Oh, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that you're clarifying for everybody here. So thank you for being forbearing and tolerant of if there's some misunderstanding or inappropriate pressure on you to stop asking questions. Your questions are often enlightening to everybody. Often they are. But sometimes in course of time, sometimes we have to shut up, we have to close the discussion at a certain point because people have to go to their jobs or their business or their family or something like that. So that's okay.
Krishna Prabhu, thank you for answering that in such a compassionate way. I understand Renuka's question, and I hear that you do also. I wanted to say, though, that oppression in any form is not conducive to education. It is not appropriate in any way, especially if we are learning about Krishna. So I just reflect that, Renuka, just forgive, and hopefully the next time she's asking something, people can be merciful to her and that she can understand and things can be done better. And I thank you for the way that you answered that.
Thank you, Mitra Vindavali. I love you.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, so we got one verse done. Thank you very much, Prabhus. Thank you for being here with us to hear about Lord Chaitanya today, and we'll do more next week. Lord Chaitanya's appearance anniversary is coming up in about a month's time on March 28th. So this is especially a good time to read, think, hear, and chant about Lord Chaitanya and his associates. Tomorrow, I think an announcement, Dronacharya Prabhu is going to make an announcement on Lord Nityananda, right?
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Vaishnavas Prabhu for a very class and question and answer session. Tomorrow we celebrate the appearance day of Lord Nityananda Prabhu, as Vaishnavas Prabhu mentioned. Extremely auspicious and very important for the devotees of Lord Chaitanya, Srila Prabhupada, to observe this day and remember Sri Nityananda Ram, worship him. So we have a class in the morning. We're chanting in the morning also japa. Devotees want to begin at 6:30, chanting japa. And then we have a class at 7:50. And then tomorrow, typically the temple isn't open until 6:30, but because it's a half-day fast and we worship Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda at noon on that day, the temple will be open from 11:30 to 12:30 for anybody that would like to have darshan. And then in the evening, we have a program starting at 6:30. It'll be broadcast over Zoom as well as our YouTube channel. There'll be Kirtan Arti. His Grace Anuttama Prabhu will be giving class on Lord Nityananda. We heard last so Anuttama Prabhu, just a connection, that he's our GBC here in Philadelphia. He's also the director of the ISKCON Communications Ministry. And we heard from Mother Rukmini on Sunday at our class. She's the wife of Anuttama Prabhu. And then we also have a drama, a virtual dramatic reading that we have planned for the devotees on the pastime of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. And we also are going to have a Pushpa Abhishek of Shishi Gaur Nitai. So that's in the evening from 6:30 to 8:30, around that time. So please tune in and join us to celebrate and honor Lord Nityananda Ram. Shri Nityananda Ram Prabhu ki.
Jai.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Thank you, Vaishnavas Prabhu. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.